So this is a huge leap in our resolve to stop the caravan. And this is one of a number of presidents. The LA Times did an article on this caravan in which they talked about the scandal in Honduras. This is another president that is with Trump. He's so with Trump that the Berman prosecution out of Manhattan put his brother in jail, Tony Hernandez. Now, I have reported that that was all a kangaroo trial, persecution against the Honduran president because he is part of our security partnership with Mr. Trump, with the Guatemalan president, with the new president of El Salvador. And Oscar L. Blue also reported that the Mexican National Guard has authorized 70 of their members to use lethal force if the caravan should breach the Mexican border. And so the Mexican president, while he was all for the caravans and the protection of every migrant in his campaign and in 2018, now he has seen that Mexico also is on the menu of the Chi-Coms and the globalists, and he's really coming into our orbit. He's really made friends with Mr. Trump, and we're fighting together. This is why it's so important that we all pray for President Trump right now, because we have a coalition of the willing to stop all of this craziness.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 2020 election countdown here on InfoWars.com. My name's Harrison Smith. Thank you so much for being with us here today. It is the 4th of October, the year 2020. We are 29 short days, less than 1 month away from the election that will decide the fate of the world. It really is amazing that you can say things like that and not be hyperbolic. I mean, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This next month will absolutely decide not just the fate of the United States, but where the United States goes. The earth soon follows. We are sort of the last bastion of any semblance of freedom in the known world, and yet we are on the precipice of falling to the hands of socialist and communist agitators that have already taken to the streets, captured many of our societal organizations that are imbued with the power to protect us and exert extreme measures in order to protect the United States. All of these have been turned against the American people and in favor of the socialist cabal, the elite of the elite, the billionaires, millionaires, corporate, governmental, whatever they are, they're all in it together. They're all running on the same track. And whether they succeed or not is up to you. Nobody else is going to fight this for you. Nobody else is going to come save you. Donald Trump's not going to save you. The Supreme Court isn't going to save you, but they're both powerful weapons that we can wield against these people as we really do truly fight for our lives and fight for the fate of Earth. I mean, it really is incredible. This is the fight that we are now engaged in. I want to hear from you. The number to call is 1-877-789-2539. That's 1-877-789-ALEX. Give us a call about any and all topics. Let us know what you think, and we will get you on air to spread the good news. And folks, the best thing you can do for us is spread the news to your friend. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your family what you find out here. Just let them know. Just let them know that what they're seeing is not accidental. What they're seeing is not mistakes being made by the people in charge, that all of these things that we're seeing pass now have been foretold for years here on InfoWars, as we've been telling you this is going to happen. And then on a shorter time frame for months and now weeks, we have been laying down exactly what the attack is, how it's coming, when it's coming, and what you can do to fight back against it. You need to spread the word. You need to spread InfoWars.com. You spread InfoWarsStore.com and Band.video. The new design of InfoWars is absolutely spectacular, but forgive us if there are a few kinks to be worked out, because this is a brand new design. It's a huge site with tons of traffic constantly. It's incredibly difficult just to keep up and running, especially with the DDoS attacks that we are constantly under by the millions. I mean, it's incredible what our IT bureau, what the IT office here at InfoWars is able to put up with, and yet still not just keep the site up, but actually remake the entire thing from the ground up and provide you guys with a better looking, better, easily shareable news site that you can go to and share with your friends. And of course, beyond just sharing this news, sharing the information, sharing your prayers, is, of course, going to InfoWarsStore.com and taking advantage of the incredible supplements and, just everything we have there. The air filters, the water filters, the preparedness section on the website is hugely popular now more than ever, of course, as it seems the entire country is united in their belief that we are headed inevitably towards total destruction or at least civil war. And, of course, My Patriot Supply, that sale is just over 1 day from going away. So prepare with Alex. There are 3 exclusive sales there on that side. It's My Patriot Supply. And there is 1 day, 6 hours, 53 minutes, and 38 seconds left to take advantage of that. But hey, don't wait till tomorrow. You'll forget. Trust me, I know you will. And then you will miss out on this incredible sale. So don't do it. Just go there right now. Don't put it off a minute more. You're going to need food, believe it or not. And if you even just from your casual shopping, you've probably noticed that the supply chain's breaking down. I mean, we were trying to buy a shed this weekend. My wife and I were trying to buy a shed. And my wife's like, was there a run on sheds? Like, why are all the sheds no longer in stock? Is everybody buying a shed? And it's like, no, it's because it's the wood or the metal pieces or the manufacturing. It's all the little bits that go into making a shed that it's all breaking down piece by piece. So it's not that everybody's buying sheds all of a sudden, like toilet paper earlier this year, which we saw the effect of panic in that situation. It's that the entire supply chain is breaking down. So you may be noticing, there's a couple things that used to always be in this store and they're not here anymore. I wonder why that is. Well, it's because somewhere along that supply chain, somebody's not working. Somebody's at home. Somebody's closed down their shop. Somebody's been forced to close down because they can't afford to operate anymore. It's these sort of, in particular, these little things happening one by one that we're starting to notice the snowball effect farther down the line. So don't wait until you need food, because then it's going to be too late. You got to get it now. So when you actually need it, it's already there for you. And it looks like the phone lines are already lighting up. People want to talk about all sorts of stuff, from reptilians to QAnon to, of course, one of the most important stories of the day is this new Migrant Caravan that just so happened to spring to life magically. Thousands of people storming the border of Guatemala en route to the United States to claim so-called asylum, even though then they go and they interview these people who are coming and they're just like, oh, I want a good job. And it's like, okay, well, then go home. Go home. Yeah, that's not a good excuse. You don't get to come to this country just because we have had a 200-year history of building up a civilization that is safe and prosperous. You know, you don't get to claim asylum. You're not under threat. You don't just get to come here and then sign up for all the stuff that we as Americans have inherited as part of our heritage. You know, that's one of the things. The idea of justice, of social justice. I always say, putting the word social in front of justice is like putting the word turkey in front of bacon. It ain't bacon, all right? It ain't justice. There's no such thing as social justice. It makes it something else, a facsimile, a poorly made copy, a poorly made clone of justice, because justice is only there on an individual level, right? If I am punished for what I did, that's justice. If I'm punished for what somebody else did, even though they look like me, it ain't justice. Justice only exists on an individual level. And, how you're born, the situation in which you were born, whether you're born poor or rich, whether you're born healthy or disabled, justice has nothing to do with that. It just is, right? Your life is a gift that's been given to you. Whether that gift is of high quality or low quality is not injustice. It's not justice in one case or injustice in the other. It just is. So these people think that, well, I was born poor and that's injustice, so now we have to punish people that were born rich in order to get that justice. That's not how it works, okay? That's just not how it works. It's not the reality. It's all fabricated nonsense in order to allow people to punish people that did nothing wrong and reward people that have done nothing right. And that, by definition, is injustice. It is not justice, even if you call it social justice. It is a lie. And so I do want to go to Pastor Sam in Oklahoma, a great info warrior. who wants to talk about the new Migrant Caravan. And just before you do, here is a new headline from FoxNews.com. Mexican migrants sent a record $36 billion in remittances in 2019. So they say instability in Mexico and Latin America drove a wave of migrant workers to send a record amount of remittances to their home countries in 2019. Mexico's central bank reported that Mexican migrants working overseas sent home a record $36 billion in remittances, a 7% increase from 2018. That is a very substantial increase and an unbelievably substantial amount of money that, instead of being paid to Americans, paying them a high living wage, letting them live at the lifestyle that Americans have come accustomed to, and perhaps cutting in a little bit to the profits up at the higher echelons of the executive. Instead of doing that, they'll just pay a Mexican worker who's illegal, who doesn't have any ability to fight back against sort of injustice. If the company is abusing them, they can't go to the police because they'll be deported or punished in some way. So they get abused. They get paid very low amounts that the companies love paying, these low amounts, and then they send all that money back to Mexico. So that's $36 billion that, instead of going into the pockets of American citizens and back into the American economy, is exported to the Mexican economy. Good for them. Congratulations to them. But you know, you're kind of siphoning the American wealth, and of course, the only people that benefit from this are the migrants who are doing it, and the corporate overlords who benefit from being able to pay low wages. It's really incredible. So, Pastor Sam in Oklahoma, thank you so much for calling in, sir. You want to talk about this new Migrant Caravan? I think it's still in Guatemala, as far as I know. They tried to stop them at the border there, but they broke through rather forcefully. Pastor Sam, you're on the air. What do you know about this new Migrant Caravan?
I've been watching it very closely. Of course, I'm deep in the woods celebrating one of the feasts of the Lord. And before I get to that, I wanted to tell you that I just put together a shed not long ago as the base for a bug-out cabin. And the thing is, they're completely made in China. Every piece is cut.
Mine was made in Vietnam. It was printed very large on the side of the box, yeah.
There we go, over in that block. The whole thing's shrink-wrapped. It's all fabricated over there. So, yes, the supply chain interruptions have stopped that completely. Now, this Migrant Caravan, you know, I really play the brotherhood angle of this as much as I can, but if there's a real threat, you know, I'll be the first to let everyone know. And if the commies are behind something, I'll be the very first to know. Here's the deal. We got a very good allied president in Guatemala. This is a second-generation conservative presidency, and his name is Dr. Alejandro Giammattei, and he used to run the Bureau of Prisons for the entire nation. He's a physician. He's very sharp, very wise. He went down to visit Juan Guaido in Venezuela when he was president-elect and got thrown out. So he's had his own bad experiences with the communist bloc right here in the Americas. And another reporter, Oscar L. Blue, who's a native Spanish speaker and someone that I watch, he reported today that President Giammattei has authorized the use of deadly force against encroaching migrants if they do not have a negative COVID test identification card. So this is a huge leap in our resolve to stop the caravan. And this is one of a number of presidents. The LA Times did an article on this caravan in which they talked about the scandal in Honduras. This is another president that is with Trump. He's so with Trump that the Berman prosecution out of Manhattan put his brother in jail, Tony Hernandez. Now, I have reported that was all a kangaroo trial, persecution against the Honduran president because he is part of our security partnership with Mr. Trump, with the Guatemalan president, with the new president of El Salvador. And Oscar L. Blue also reported that the Mexican National Guard has authorized 70 of their members to use lethal force if the caravan should breach the Mexican border. And so the Mexican president, while he was all for the caravans and the protection of every migrant in his campaign and in 2018, now he has seen that Mexico also is on the menu of the Chi-Coms and the globalists, and he's really coming into our orbit. He's really made friends with Mr. Trump, and we're fighting together. This is why it's so important that we all pray for President Trump right now, because we have a coalition of the willing to stop all of this craziness.
Well, that's really incredible, and you're bringing together a bunch of stuff. I never even thought about the effect that the COVID outbreak would have on this. Obviously, it's like yet another reason why we don't want a caravan of 2,000 unidentified people pouring over our border. That's kind of obvious, but you're saying that, were you saying that Guatemala and Mexico have both authorized lethal force to prevent this migrant caravan from moving, or is that just Mexico that's authorized that?
Guatemala also. In fact, Guatemala was first. That's what Oscar L. Blue reported. I have not independently verified that, but he's an excellent journalist that watches all the news in his native tongue. Now, the COVID has really been used in these three nations where we have migrant accords, where we have alliances, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. Those presidencies have used it to really crack down on drug trafficking, and it has been nearly stopped completely. In fact, Honduras, I believe, has a lethal force order where the military is authorized to shoot down aircraft that travel over Honduras and are unidentified. So if an aircraft is going over the jungle with their transponder off, which drug traffickers have done for a long, long time, Honduras may just shoot that aircraft down. Of course, we have the enhanced counter-narcotic strategy in the Caribbean. Many nations involved in that, and it's very, very successful. Almost no drugs or money or human beings are being trafficked on the waters of the Caribbean. So under cover of the crisis, these presidents have completely shut down their countries, and it's been the U.S. that has kept them in food supplies during this time. So it's really a two-edged sword.
Let me ask you, Pastor Sam, because I know I could listen to you for hours, because you're so well informed about what's going on south of our border, which is something that a lot of us here in America just don't really pay attention to. And yet, when you hear somebody like you talking about it, you understand how it all comes together. But I got a lot of callers I got to get to, so I can't talk to you too much longer. But I do want to know where is the caravan now, and do you think that because of this order of lethal force, they'll be stopped, or do you think they're going to make their way to the United States, and in about how long? Do you have any predictions about that?
The caravans in Guatemala, I don't believe it will get past there. The president, Giammattei, said today that the migrants who have entered Guatemala illegally will be detained and sent back to their country of origin. So expect that to happen very quickly. And then I want everybody to give credit to our president for making that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much, Pastor Sam. And give us a call next time I'm on air, and we'll get the latest update for you. And you keep your ear to the ground like you always do. That's Pastor Sam. Thank you so much for the call.
Introducing InfoWars Life Pure Turmeric Extract. This is taken under the tongue. It is pure turmeric. It goes together very well with our body's ultimate turmeric formula that is taken as a powdered capsule and absorbed in the stomach and intestines. This is absorbed under the tongue into the bloodstream, and then the remaining also is then absorbed by the stomach. So it's more of an intense delivery system. The two formulas are different, but both are concentrates, and our first product got rave reviews. We've now been testing this out for several months. Some of our staff like it more than bodies, some like bodies better. For me, they're both amazing for their anti-inflammatory action and so much more, and they fund the InfoWar. So get our new liquid turmeric extract exclusively at InfoWarsStore.com today. Get an additional 25% off. This is a 360 win. Turmeric is renowned for what it does for all of our bodies, for inflammation and so much more. Get yours today at InfoWarsLife.com.